Take 5. I've attempted to do this video several different times, and please just bear with me. I am very sorry that I have not come on and done another video. Workers' compensation put me under such enormous stress that I literally had a breakdown. I couldn't even speak the name workers' comp. I couldn't even talk about it. I couldn't talk about what they had put me through because I would literally just break into tears. And if that happens on this video, just please bear with me. I did an 87-page appeal because of how wrong they did me and sent it to the full board panel. The full board refused to even look at it. They wouldn't even take a look at it. No one told me that there was a limit on pages, but I wanted to produce all the evidence, and it was in their own documentation. My lawyers, the doctors, the court hearings, all of this corruption and fraud was pointed out to them, all highlighted. And I made a mirrored copy for myself so I knew if anything was missing. And anyhow, they ended up putting me at a 50% rating of disability. And remember, they had sent me to 2 IME doctors. The first IME doctor the insurance company sent me to found in my favor and named everything that was wrong with me. Everything. And the insurance company did not like that, so they wanted me to go see another one. Well, by that time, at the time, the judge had ordered for depositions to be done. And so I received a notification in the mail from my attorney, and it ended up being a bill for a deposition that was conducted prior to a hearing that was coming up for me. And I was like, what the heck is this? So as I got looking at it, it was a bill for the deposition that was done by the first doctor that found in my favor. Well, when I went to the hearing, my attorney said that the deposition had not been done. So he went into court and he committed perjury. He lied because I already had the bill requesting payment for the deposition that was already conducted. So he did that in order to get the time for the insurance company to send me to another IME doctor, which I did go. And later on, after, the decision was made on my case, I discovered that the second IME doctor, the orthosurgeon, was actually a dentist. A dentist who gave me a psychological evaluation stating that I had psychological overlay, which psychological overlay basically means that the symptoms that I have, but the symptoms that I was having was basically in my head that I was making it up. And I convinced myself that there was something wrong with me. So the judge took his opinion based on his medical findings, but gave me the rating of 50% of the first IME doctor. So pretty much that's how my case ended. And I, after that, just ended up going to pain management. I did nothing with workers' comp, as a matter of fact, because I have thoracic injury as well. So I used my primary insurance to just go get pain management for that. And I was being told that there was nothing wrong with my spine. This is at pain management, even with medical evidence showing that there was multiple herniations throughout my spine. So they just wanted to medicate me. And it became so frustrating because I was being treated like this was in my head, that there was nothing wrong with me. And they just couldn't figure out why I was in so much pain. Well, a couple years back, I believe it was 2017, I went to pain management because I had laid in the tub. And when I laid down in the tub to kind of soak my body because it hurt so bad, something cracked in my lower spine. And it sounded like something broke. So I told pain management, I said, I think something broke or slipped or something happened. I think it's my pelvis. And he said, it's not your pelvis. But he didn't want to order tests either. So for 2 years, 17, 18, 19, for 2 years, I walked around in pain so badly that I thought I was going to die. Well, it got so bad that actually I couldn't walk. It felt like my legs were coming apart and coming off my body. By this time, pain management sent me back to a surgeon that I had seen a long time ago, who was the only one that was honest with me, telling me how bad my back was, while everyone else was telling me there was nothing wrong with me. So I went back to the surgeon and he sent me for x-rays and an MRI. And we discovered that my L5 vertebrae had slipped forward. Well, that was the cracking noise, the pop, the bone breaking sound that I heard when I laid back in the tub. Well, because I walked around like that for 2 years, and nobody bothered to get testings to find out that my vertebrae had slipped forward, and I had expressed that I used to be able to decompress my spine, and when that happened, it was locked. I wasn't able to do anything, so I knew something was wrong, but nobody would listen to me. So the pain management doctor kept saying, there's nothing wrong with you, it's just muscle, and if you don't do cardio, you're not going to get better. Well, I did started doing cardio and prior to me going to see the surgeon, and it got to the point where I literally felt like my legs were going to come off my body. I couldn't hold my own body weight. I was in so much pain that I literally just wanted to die. And at this point, I wasn't getting pain management because the opiate crisis, the people who abuse it, they really wanted to steer clear, and they had used so many different medications on me, but with me, medications work for such a period of time and then they stop working. It's just the way it is with me. And so they had exhausted everything. So I ended up going to see this surgeon, which he is a wonderful man, very honest. He was the only one who was honest with me. And then he discovered that my SI joint, my sacrum, was actually starting to detach. So he told me that I needed to get surgeries done. And but he wanted me to try injections first, so we did that. I ended up getting SI joint injections, spinal injections, and I ended up getting my nerves burned on both sides. By the time it was all said and done, I had around approximately 19 cortisone injections in my body. I ended up actually, after the last injections before I got my nerves burned, I ended up in the hospital. I became so sick. I was starting to vomit, and it was awful. It was just like, I don't want to be graphic, but, in case this happens to you guys, basically, I was getting sick. It was at both ends, and I just literally thought I was going to die. The pain was so unbearable. It was nothing I had ever experienced. I thought I had food poisoning. I started vomiting at 2:30 in the morning and continued until I finally had my son take me to the emergency room. We arrived there at 6 a.m. As soon as I walked through the door, I ran to the bathroom and I started vomiting. I was urinating on myself. I couldn't hold my bladder. And they ended up doing tests and ran tests on me and told me I had acute pancreatitis. Well, I spent 5 days in the hospital and on massive amounts of pain medication. They ran all kinds of tests, and she told me that it was medication induced. So she didn't know what kind of medication, but it didn't hit me till later on at how many cortisone injections I had had. The normal amount of cortisone injections that are recommended per year are no more than 4. After I got out of the hospital, I had to go get my nerves burned, which required more cortisone injections. So, but they told me this was perfectly safe. At the time, I didn't link the cortisone with the pancreatitis. I still have issues with my stomach because of that. I don't know. I just have been through so much. So none of that worked. After getting my nerves burned, I was in such misery. Oh my God, I thought I was going to die. And this went on for 9 months. For 9 months of no pain medication, nothing to help me. I literally got to the point where the pain was so much, I literally started to become suicidal. Like, I just couldn't do it anymore. And I would think of my life and how much it was ruined, and the relationships that I've lost and friendships that I've lost, and how secluded I became in my life. How mean I was becoming, how unhappy I was. And I really just wanted it to end, to be honest. And when I went back to go see the surgeon, we set up a date for me to go have surgery. And I just had surgery October 29th. And I had 2 procedures done. I had a L5-S1 fusion and a left side SI joint fusion. This was the first time this doctor has done both of those surgeries at the same time. I wasn't told till later. But honestly, getting it done took away that suicidal pain that I was having. I still got a lot of pain, but at least I don't want to die. Not yet. I just wish it hadn't got to this point, because it didn't have to. They ignored my injury to the point where I got to where I couldn't walk. And I didn't enjoy life. I still don't, but hopefully that'll get better. And I'm supposed to go Thursday, February 13th, 2020, to get the right side SI joint fusion done. I'm looking forward to it, and I don't want to have surgery, but I know that it is my only option, my last option. And it literally feels like it's going to break on this side. So if you feel your back, or notice where you've got the dimples in the back of your back, that's where it feels like it's going to break. It feels like something's tearing and catching, and I feel like it's just going to snap, and it's miserable. So I'm supposed to have that surgery Thursday. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow we're supposed to get a huge winter storm, so I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make it to the surgery. I'm going to have to see if, because it's supposed to be treacherous weather. I don't know. And I'm not willing to risk, our lives to get there. So I may have to reschedule that. But I just want you guys to know that what workers' comp is doing is wrong. It's wrong in so many levels. I've always been a hard worker. And these people took my ability to work and provide for myself away from me. And there was no options. There was nothing for me. And these judges, the attorneys, these doctors, all working together for their own greedy cause. And I am very blessed to have an attorney, or excuse me, not an attorney, a surgeon that really cares about his patients. Because he did a great job. Great job. I still experience pain. My sciatic pain on my left side is much worse than before, but I'll take that over the pain that I was experiencing prior to the surgery any day. So now I have to go back to court because they owe me money. And not only do they owe me money, I want to be able to get some of this off my chest and have someone listen to what wasn't listened to before. So I'm going to go, instead of Rochester, I'm going to try and go to Syracuse, courts. My attorney has me at total temporary. That's probably going to be like that for a year. And then he said that basically permanency rating that he can give me is 75. Pretty much to get 100, I've got to be paralyzed. So we'll see. I mean, the system is just so corrupt. But I don't know if I'll ever be able to get over this, to be honest. It's such an emotional thing, but the hell that I've been put through, and I've met so many different injured workers and talked with so many. And it is so sad to hear everyone's stories. And, they think that they have an avenue of complaint to be able to complain somewhere, but you can't. The governor knows about it. You can't contact the attorney general. The attorney general will fight you. The inspector general will laugh at you. The attorney general is their boss. I mean, you have to follow the chain of command. And really, there is no one. These advocates claiming to fight for the rights of injured workers are all full of shit. They are working both sides of the fence, and it's pretty disgusting. But one day, what they're doing to people will come back to them. I wish I could see it. I never was a person who wished anything bad on anyone. I don't like the word hate. I don't want to hate anyone. But this situation really makes you angry. And I pray all the time. I pray that God will remove these people and expose them and bring justice to the people who are being affected by this. And I got to tell you, unless everyone rises together, and see, that's the problem, is that these guys know that we're injured and we're sick. And how many sick and injured workers are going to get together and go rally and go fight? And everything is so corrupt. The media doesn't want anything to do with it because guess what? They're just as corrupt. And they're just as lying as everyone else. So, it's sad. But I do have hope now, at least, that really horrific pain is gone. I am on, well, I haven't been since the 3rd because workers' comp didn't approve my pain medication. But I hopefully will have pain medication before I leave the hospital. But it's pretty sad. It's pretty crazy. I just had 2 major operations, and they act like it's a scraped knee, you know? But anyways, I just wanted to let everyone know I'm going to be okay. Like I said, you know, I have been put through hell, and I know many of you have too. And, you know, but I'm not going to let them beat me and take me out. They almost did. But I'm hanging in there. And, you know, I know that when I go back to court this time, unfortunately, I have to try and see. I'm sure I probably can get an attorney now, because now they're going to be seeing big dollar signs now that I've had all these surgeries, all these procedures, 2 surgeries, 3 procedures. And down the road, I may have to have an L4 fusion. Who knows? But, you know, I do know that I'm not going to be able to do this by myself. They make it to where you can't do it by yourself. So even if you know these judges and lawyers and doctors are corrupt, you have to use them in order to get anywhere in this system. So I will have to try to get an attorney, if one will even take my case. I had several of them prior to all of the surgeries and stuff refuse to help me, because I believe because they saw that I called out my attorney for fraud and corruption, and they wanted no part of it. So I don't know if I'll be able to get representation. Talk about, you know, human rights, civil rights, everything being violated. There are no rights when it comes to being an injured worker. You are just, you know, you're a burden, and, you know, they treat you like you're worthless. They definitely had me feeling like I was worthless, and I still do. I hope and pray that changes, because I know that I'm a good person, and I care deeply about people. And I don't wish any bad on anyone, you know. I just pray that to each and every one, whether it's good or bad, that they get theirs. That's it. You know, I'm not, you know, I don't want to wish horrible things, but I do hope that they experience some of what they've put all of us through. So anyhow, I'm going to end this, because I don't know what else to say, honestly. I really don't. I will keep you updated. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't make a very good YouTuber, but that wasn't my intent anyways. My first video was just to really plead for people to open their eyes and take a look around to see what is going on and how many people are actually being hurt. But obviously we see that going on all over the place right now, you know? So it's so crazy, because when I realized how fraudulent the state was, and the insurance and the judges and all of this, then all of a sudden, all of this corruption and fraud and, you know, greed and wickedness just really started showing its face all over the place. It was crazy. So I just hope and pray that, you know, that this is, I don't know, that some kind of justice is brought to us, because there really is no one to help us. So, you know, you're lucky to find a good surgeon. I will tell you right now that just in case any of you are in New York, or even if you're not in New York and you're concerned about finding a good surgeon, I will tell you right now that I found the best surgeon, and he really is a great man. He cares genuinely about all of his patients. His name is Dr. Aaron J. Bianco, and he's in Syracuse, New York, East Taft Road. My surgeries have been at St. Joseph's, and it's been great. He's just amazing, and I trust him with my life. I would never have let any doctor from workers' comp touch me. Nobody. Because I don't trust them. And it took a lot for me to be able to trust. But the very first time I saw him back in 2012, I trusted him because he was the only one that was honest with me. And I trust him still. So if you want a good surgeon, it's worth it to travel. I would not steer you wrong. This man did not want to do anything that would cause me more harm. And he just did a great, great job. So anyhow, you guys take care and God bless. Keep me in your prayers. I'll keep you in mine. Take care.